St. Patrick's Day in Denver, Colorado. We're getting set for the first of 4 games in the Midwest region. And first up, it will be Iona College against Iowa State, the Cyclones, the number 4 seed in the Midwest. Great matchup to kick off the slate here in Denver as we take a closer look at the stats brought to you by LG. Behind the stats, 2 very fast-paced teams, 2 teams that can score a lot of points. And for Iowa State, the center of their offense is Georges Niang.
Well, he's been spectacular his entire career. Over 2,100 points. He's on the verge of collecting his 700th rebound. He does so many things for them. He's a tremendous passer. They can run their offense through him if they choose to. He could be a point guard. And then for Iona, A.J. English, the only player in the country averaging over 20 points, over 5 rebounds, and over 5 assists a game. He has dropped 45 and 46 in a game this year. He's also had a game with 13 threes. Iowa State better beware of A.J. English.
A look at the starting lineups, and for Iona, as Steve Lapis mentioned, A.J. English, 10th in the country, averaging better than 22 points per game. And for Iowa State, Monte, 8th in the country, just under 7 assists per game. The big story with Morris, though, is still nursing a shoulder injury. His right shoulder. Says he's 100%, but Steve Prohm said realistically it's probably between 50 and 75%. Prohm has done a wonderful job in his first season on the bench with the Cyclones since taking over for Fred Hoiberg. Our officials today, Mike Roberts, Greg Nixon, and Tim Kelly. And we are underway. The 4-13 game in the Midwest region between Iowa State and Iona.
You know, one of the things that Iona does all the time, they play a lot of different types of zone. They'll go man in the middle of the zone. They'll match up. They're going to try and confuse Iowa State.
Niang's first shot is off the mark, and Jordan Washington collects the rebound.
And this is a game where we're going to see more zone than we see usually because Iowa State only really plays 6, maybe a 7th guy. They're going to need that zone.
First bucket of the game for Jordan Washington of Iona. And Jordan Washington leads us to one of the keys in this game, Coach, and it's foul trouble for both teams. Iona gets in a lot of foul trouble. Iowa State not very deep. Both teams got to stay out of foul trouble.
Well, you look at a guy like Jordan Washington. The kid averages 13 points a game, and he averages 4 fouls a game, and he only plays 18 minutes because of those 4 fouls. So foul trouble is a definite issue.
Williams for 3, and it's good. And Iona out to a 5-0 lead.
This Iona team plays fast on offense, shoots a ton of, 45% of their points come from the 3-point line. So you're going to see a team that is going to fire from 3. Iowa State's got to get back and locate these shooters.
Thomas is a shooter, and Matt Thomas puts the Cyclones on the board.
Well, here's a guy who's now hit a 3 in 23 consecutive games. He is a tremendous 3-point shooter, one of the best in the Big 12.
That's the 3rd longest streak in school history. Nearly a steal by Nader. Williams able to grab it.
And we're seeing Iowa State man-to-man. I don't know how long they're going to stick with this.
Niang hands off for McKay. Nowhere to go. Gets it out to the perimeter to Morris. And now Niang, corner 3. Here's Much baseline. Reverse lay-in won't go. And Niang, who's 8th in the Big 12 in rebounding, gets the board on the defensive end.
You have to attack this defense off the dribble. I think you need to treat this defense as if it's man-to-man because they're matching up, run your man stuff, and try to beat it off the dribble.
Nader connects from the outside. And Iowa State has its first lead of the game.
Well, Abdel Nader has been on fire, really. His last 7 games, he has played spectacularly.
Last 7 games, 43% from deep. English has a lot of range, but he misses his first shot. Niang straight away 3. Well, we told you you'd see a lot of points. We already have 14 of them, and we're not even 3 minutes into the game. It's a 9-0 run for Iowa State. great crowd here in Denver. And a turnover by Iona. Morris the lob, Nader the finish. Timeout Iona, 11 straight points for Iowa State. Following the Iona timeout, Ibn Muhammad setting up the offense, trying to get A.J. English involved, and he turns it over. Numbers the other way for the Cyclones. Morris leading the break to Nader in the corner for three. In and out, and the rebound to Washington.
They got very lucky there because both these teams love to spot up in transition at the three-point line.
And it's Aaron Roundtree into the game for Washington, and Roundtree hits on his first jumper.
He's been a key guy, the transfer from Wake Forest. He's in the top 10 in the MAC in steals and rebounds. Very tough player.
He's really inspired their defensive effort as well. Roundtree's made a big difference this year for Iona. Niang, lob, and McKay with the flush. Roundtree goes at McKay, nowhere to go. And back out the perimeter. And it's Williams missing from deep.
You know, after talking to Steve Prohm yesterday, I had the impression that this team was going to try and play really, really fast, Iowa State. He didn't want another shot. That shot fake or pass fake that George Niang just did froze the defense and allowed him to be open for that three-point shot.
English spins, and he is fouled with 15:07 to go in the first half. Iowa State, after a slow start, they have come to life here in Denver. George Niang, the latest to hit from deep. For Iowa State, they've already connected on 4 3-pointers. English makes a pair from the line. It's 16-9.
See, the way Iona plays defense is hard against this team because they got 4 accomplished three-point shooters out on the perimeter.
And a travel is called against Niang.
And that time,
first Iowa State turnover of the day. McGill launches from deep. And the rebound comes down to Monte Morris.
They could use a little bit more penetration. Can't settle all the time for three-point shots.
Iowa State still with its starters on the floor. They are not very deep. As Morris attacks, and he'll go to the line.
Got 4 assists in this game. That was a great opportunity to drive it because Iona was not in great help position.
Before you find Morris, an all Big 12 second team selection this year, makes a pair at the line. 2 points, 4 assists for Monte Morris already.
I think Iona needs to try to penetrate this defense a little bit like that.
And English with the left hand lays it in, his first field goal of the day.
You know, Iowa State's not a great defensive team, so you got to make them play defense. Make them guard you.
Nader, and the foul. First foul on Aaron Roundtree, and Nader gets it to rattle in for the three-point play. He's got 8 early points for the Cyclones. Roundtree off-balance shot won't go, and Niang is going to run it up. Thomas from the corner. Gets it to go in. That's the 5th three of the half for Iowa State.
But one of the problems is if you're going to play quick on offense like Iona is and miss, you better get back quickly in transition because this Iowa State team will shoot threes in transition as good, if not better, than anybody in the country.
And we have Iona's first NCAA tournament appearance in 3 years. English, tough sledding down low. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Iona.
Well, they tried.
Washington had it taken away by McKay. It goes out. And a foul is called with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Here's English. That won't go. English averages 22 points per game. Niang for 3. And a rare miss from deep early on for Iowa State. Williams returns the favor. Washington gets it back and scores.
I get this is how Iona plays. I got that. But in this particular game, to get back in it, they've got to be a little bit more selective in transition.
They're 1 of 7 shooting the 3 so far, Iona. And that's going to go against Nader. Yes, Nader comes out. That's his 2nd foul, and we have our first substitution for Iowa State nearly 8 minutes in. As Burton checks in, Washington again down low, not this time. Morris, nice dish to Niang. And then Morris with the steal. And it poked away by Williams. It'll stay with the Cyclones. Morris, 5 assists, no turnovers so far for the Iowa State point guard.
One of the top guys in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. That time, Iona, good job stopping that penetration.
And Williams converts at the other end. The senior out of Newark, New Jersey. Deonte Burton gives it right back to Iona. However, much couldn't get the handle on it. Let's check in with Jamie Erdahl.
Well, Iona's philosophy coming from Tim Cluse is to shoot the ball if you have the confidence to do so. He expects them to do that. But in the huddle, he said, Iowa State's wanting you to take those shots early in the shot clock. He needs the ball to get to at least the free throw line so you get looks like that.
There's no doubt that as fast as they're playing, it's too fast. And he's 100% right. He knows what he wants. They're taking shots way too quickly without any penetration whatsoever.
Burton lost it going up, and here comes A.J. English, who's just 1 of 4 so far for the Gaels.
Let's face it, when Steve Prohm is putting his scouting report together, he's thinking A.J. English, and that's all they've probably talked about for the last couple of days. But Jordan Washington's a good player. He can make that shot. Right now, he's doing a good job, and he's not in foul trouble. 6
points for Washington, and Iona cuts it to 26-17 as Thomas is fouled on the drop. Who's going to make for Steve Prohm, which again is rare with the depth Iowa State has. Hollis Cook, the sophomore out of Union City, New Jersey, has come onto the floor for the first time. Already 3 Cyclones have at least 8 points as we approach the midway point of the first half.
Well, they're headed for 100 like this.
Jahad Proctor, and he took Thomas, nice feed to McKay.
See that? The ball goes into the deep corner. Somebody's got to rotate into the middle of that zone.
And here come the Iowa State fans, but we have a whistle.
Well, there's a shot fake by Thomas, and what happens there, Proctor, who came into the picture late, needs to rotate inside of McKay there because you're dead. It all started with the shot fake. You can't leave your
10 field goals for Iowa State. They already have 9 assists. Washington is swatted down low, gets it back, puts it up. That won't go. McKay with the rebound. A 13-point lead for Iowa State, the number 4 seed in the Midwest.
Iona switching that screen. No communication there leads to that foul.
Deonte Burton, the transfer from Marquette. named the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, and did not play in the first semester because he had to sit out after transferring from Marquette, but he's been a big factor the last 3 months for the Cyclones. Washington feeling it from that spot. That time he is short.
You know what? You can play fast, but make 3 or 4 passes quickly. These are all 1-2 pass shot every time down. You can't do it against a team like this from the Big 12 that's used to playing against Kansas and Texas and all those other teams in that league.
Looks like Thomas found a wet spot on the floor. He gets to his feet with 10 on the shot clock. Morris to a cutting Cook. 3 to shoot. In the corner, Cook for 3. A.J. English trying to get going.
Oh my God.
Deep 3, it's good. He's got that range.
Whoa. That caught me off guard. It takes a lot to catch me off guard. That caught me off guard.
In the gym range for A.J. English, who made a school.
You know, the thing is, you get me once like that, you're not getting me again like that. 2 guys again.
Niang can't convert. It's tipped out though, and Matt Thomas corrals it. A fresh shot clock for Iowa State. Deonte Burton for 3. Here comes English again. Deyshonee much from even deeper. That rolls around and out. Iona not afraid to shoot the 3.
No, I guess they come out here and they're going to do what they want to do. But even Coach Kluse told them in that last timeout, guys, we got to attack a little bit, you know, make a couple of passes. Play fast, but pass fast.
Good defense. See Wilmington coming down to the wire on CBS right now. Late second half. Check that one out. Monte Morris knocks down the 15-footer.
And you see Matt Thomas is not leaving A.J. English even when the ball goes below him.
A Hobbit misses Iona. And that's last touch by Iowa State. Jordan Washington back into the game for Tim Kluse.
Could have called a travel there.
Roundtree just inside the arc.
There was some ball movement there. A little bit of patience. 10 seconds went off the shot clock. There's nothing wrong with playing like that sometimes. And Iona trying this matchup. So you got to attack this. It's man to man because you see Ibn Mohammed going through with his man.
On the shot clock. Cook's gonna have to put one up. He does. And the rebound comes to Roundtree. Good defensive set by Iona and a great feed. English to Washington. A.J. English averages 6 assists per game. That's 19th in the country.
That was great transition there where they took advantage of Iowa State being a little slow. But that's not good transition defense by Iona. They were lucky there.
Niang could not finish. English the other way. 1 on 3. And it's stripped away. Gets it back. Puts it up. And he's fouled. Largest lead for the Cyclones in this first half was 15.
You look at this defense. They're trying to make Iowa State think it's a zone. That's a great roll right there by George Niang.
16 fouls for both Iona and Iowa State, so they'll be going to the line the rest of the half. 5 minutes to go in the first. It's the 4-13 game in the Midwest region. And Monte Morris sits from the outside. He's got 7 points and 5 assists.
A.J. English a little slow getting over the top of that screen to contest that shot. When you play players like this, you got to be there early with that hand up or it's too late.
Jordan Ashton is all over A.J. English. Defensive.
Yeah, this is man-to-man. I mean, they show zone to try to make Iowa State think it's a zone, but it's man-to-man.
Niang with the left hand, that won't go. Iowa State's got cold from the floor. Now Niang baseline, and a blocking foul is called, and Tim Cluse is not happy.
It's a good sign for everything else that they did today, that's for sure.
Niang knocks in the front end of the 1-and-1, and that last foul before the timeout was on Isaiah Williams, which is his third. So the senior goes to the bench with 3:54 left in the first half.
That's huge, one of their top 3 players.
Iowa State 9 of 9 from the free throw line in this first half.
Look how Matt Thomas is guarding A.J. English. He is not leaving him to get to the line of the ball. The ball will get passed below him, and he's staying in A.J. English's face. I don't blame him.
8 to shoot. English into traffic and scores off glass.
Take it off the dribble. They're trying to take the 3 from you. Go off the dribble.
English into double figures. He's got 10 points.
Might get a freeze, I'll tell you where.
Niang's floater won't go. McKay the tip, and Muhammad comes away with it. Iona down by 10. English from the free throw line, and he's starting to heat up.
Boy, A.J. English is starting. They got to try and deny him the ball a little bit. The more touches he makes, the worse it is.
11-5 run for the Gaels. Niang off the mark. McKay the offensive board, and he's fouled with 2. Iona has made 4 of its last 5 field goals. English adds to it.
It's the same play. They screen for him. He comes off the screen. Nobody steps up from Iowa State to help on that, and he throws in the floater.
After a slow start, English now has scored 6 consecutive points for Iona. Thomas from the free throw line, and he knocks that in with us into double figures for the 19th time this year. English deep 3. That one is short, but the rebound to Much. Muhammad traveled. Morris knifing through the lane, but it was Taylor Bessick that got a hand on it. Cyclones get it back. McKay, physical play down low on the block, and he'll reset to Thomas. And we have 12 seconds off. And McKay misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
And Tim Cluse has done an unbelievable job here in the 6 years that he's been here. And it's hard when you've established the style. It's hard to not do it, but backing off a little bit would probably help.
Inside 10 on the shot clock. It's Much. He's got deep range as well. 4 to shoot. Over to Roundtree for 3. Roundtree 0 for 6 now, shooting 3s this year, but the shot clock was winding down. He had to put it up. Morris answers.
You know, when you play Iowa State, you cannot go under any screens on any of these guys. The preparation should be, we're going over the top of every screen, and that's what we have to do.
10 first half points for Monte Morris. Roundtree from 17. He's missed 2 in a row. Shot clock turned off, and Iowa State can hold for the final shot of this half. This is the only way the game will slow down. The shot clock's turned off.
That's right. I mean, these guys have 45. I think in a 90-point game, I think it's hard for Iona to get 90 on Iowa State.
5 seconds left. Morris straightaway 3. Roundtree the rebound. English chucks it, but that is how the first half will come to a close. Tom Andrew Cattle on Iona shot just 2 of 13 from deep in that first half, and Iowa State really controlled the pace for the majority of the first 20
Well,
minutes.
there's no doubt. Iowa State's one of the best transition teams there is in the country. And when you got a guy like Monte Morris, who's 4.5 to 1 assist-to-turnover ratio, he dominates in that kind of a game. He's got 10 points, 5 assists, 1 turnover, and makes every great decision. A.J. English, he started getting some things done in the second half of the first half. A lot of it was off pick and rolls. It wasn't just coming down and firing a three, which he did one time, and he made it.
Only 4 assists in that first half for Tim Cluse's club. Meanwhile, George Niang missed his last 6 shots, so it all adds up to a 12-point Iowa State halftime lead. Second half is underway. English played the entire first half, and he misses his first shot of the second half.
That was a very good offensive set. You get A.J. English an open 14-footer, you got to be happy with that one because you know he's going to knock those out.
Thomas can knock it out from deep. This one rolls around and out, but the putback is good by Niang. That's his first field goal since there was 12 minutes left in the first half.
You know, Isaiah Williams was a little afraid to fight Niang there because he's got the 3 fouls. Great transition there. That's a good opportunity, attacking and ending up with a layup.
Iowa State 18-3 when leading at the half this year. Nader from deep, and he knocks in another 3. That's his second of the game, and Nader in double figures with 11.
This team really moves the ball. They know what they do well, and they're very comfortable doing it.
8 threes for Iowa State. They average 8 per game, and here's McKay off the turnover in transition. Morris back to McKay, but he couldn't get it done. And now the Gaels have numbers. Williams up ahead. Nice bounce back to Washington. Do not put your head down in this game. Up and down we go. What a pace. English steals it. English now with Thomas back. English for 2.
You're going to get back in this game if you play hard on the defensive end, no question.
English goes to the ground. Niang gets rid of it. And now Nader on the right wing out to Niang to set up the Iowa State offense. Thomas corner 3. Once again in and out. McKay offensive board, but Muhammad, who's just 5'9", took it away. Washington, another.
Now,
6 straight points.
Now they're beating Iowa State down the floor and getting layups, not pulling up for threes from 24 feet. That's good basketball and good transition basketball.
Morris from 18, and that stops the 6-0 run.
This kid is really, really tough.
Much for 3.
See, I don't like that shot.
Washington gets it back, and the foul! Can't do that. 3 fouls now on Washington, and he was a big part of the start of this second half. He already has 9 points in the second half. Niang lobs and McKay with the finish.
Niang has such a good feel as a passer. And I don't want to tell you he's Larry Bird, but he's Bird-like in that he was not a good athlete, but so smart and so skilled.
Out of bounds.
You see Niang here. First of all, he gets by his man, which is the first part, obviously, that ruins Iona's, beating Iona's defense there. And then the lob is the easy part because Jameel McKay is the biggest, most athletic guy in this game.
Hot shooting start for both teams this half. Iona 5 out of 7. Iowa State 4 for 6. That shot partially blocked. Roundtree tips it back, but English couldn't get there. Niang leads McKay up ahead. McKay misses, gets it back, puts it up, and scores.
That looked like it was going to be a charge, but he pulled up in time.
So McKay and Washington both picked up their 3rd at the same time on those double technicals. Washington went to the bench. Meanwhile, McKay stayed in and has hit back-to-back shots. And now Washington is back at the scorer's table.
I'm not a big fan of off-the-dribble threes. Drive and kick threes, absolutely.
English 3-on-2. Much in rhythm 3. And he hits.
That's a much better three.
Much had missed his first 6 shots. He's finally on the board. His first triple of the day. 56-47. Niang!
That's just not good defense on the ball. You've got to stop the dribble. You got a 6'8" guy beating guards to the basket. Not good defense that time.
Much off balance 3. Well, it goes in. That's all that counts.
Soft touch.
Five minutes into the second half, an 8-point Cyclones lead. Thomas makes it 11. And a timeout.
This is about as back and forth as you are possibly going to see. Niang here with the nice slam.
Half, we've already had 33 points combined. These two teams light up the scoreboard, and Washington for 2 more. Want to point out that during that last timeout, Washington and McKay had a big hug. Said, all right, let's just move on. It was good to see that. They both played at Indian Hills for a couple of years. 11 points this half for McKay.
I think the dribble penetration by Iona, when they've dribble penetrated, they've gotten something good against this defense.
Niang uses the size advantage over Muhammad for 2. Niang 6'8", Muhammad 5'9". Here's Washington and McKay. Washington wants to take him. And we have a whistle and a travel against Jordan Washington. Well, he missed his final 6 shots of the first half, but George Niang off to a good start here in the second.
And you know, all those shots that he missed in the first half were all very makeable shots for him, but he's just a terrific player. He has a great feel for the game. You know, I think when people evaluated him out of high school, he was misevaluated by a lot of people. Right now, everybody in the country would take George Niang, but he didn't get recruited by everybody in the country. He has shown that he can play this game.
His mom, Allison, watching intently from the front row. Niang with 16 points and 6 rebounds. His last rebound was the 700th of his career. Nader from the corner knocks in another 3. Number 10 on the day for the Cyclones.
And you know, I don't know why Deyshonee Much left him. He was on him initially, and then he just left him.
And Nader is whistled for the foul. That's going to be his 3rd. So 3 on McKay and 3 on Nader. Roundtree, good defense by Nader. And turnover by Iona.
Well, that time Iowa State, Abdel Nader in particular, was in a good help position to be able to take that away on that drive.
Steve A.J. English only has 2 points this half. He closed out the first red hot, but he has been quiet so far here. 7 minutes in. Niang and home. As we take a look at our Infinity Coaches Spotlight, his first year as Iowa State head coach, had a great run at Murray State. Went 104-29 in his 4 years at Murray State. And tough situation getting the job so late in the game in June. And we spoke with him for a while yesterday, and he said he tried to keep the transition as smooth as possible when taking over from Fred Hoiberg. Didn't want to change too much.
I think he was really smart to do that. He knew he was inherited a veteran team that played a certain style that was very successful, that had all upperclassmen for the most part. And instead of coming in and having him use his ego to change things to the way he wanted to do it, he kept things the way Fred Hoiberg did it. It was a great coaching move, and I think in the future he's going to use his style a little bit more. He liked to run at Murray State, but not like this. So he's going to be able to inject his own style in time. But that was a smart move for this year.
Let's go over to Jamie Erdahl.
And he got big-time support from his big-time senior, George Niang. I spoke to him yesterday. Niang said the Cyclones couldn't have hired a better guy for this role. He's so humble. He kept the identity the same, coach, like you said. Iowa State had its ups and downs this year, but Prohm kept this team together.
And his team on a 9-0 run right now to open up an 18-point advantage. Iona got to within 9, but since then they have not scored. Washington gets it back. Blocked by McKay again. There are a lot of Iowa State fans here in Denver, and they are as loud as they've been all day.
Well, there's no doubt about it, but you know, Jameel, one of the best shot blockers in the Big 12. That's what he does for this Iowa State team. He's the one guy in their lineup that's not skilled with the ball, but he provides energy, rebounding, block shots.
Largest lead for the Cyclones as Williams cuts it down to 16.
Iona extending defensively out a little bit more now. This is man-to-man. They may try to mask it as a zone, but this is definitely man-to-man. They'll switch that there.
Niang finds McKay. Doesn't get the bounce. See if Iona can get English going. Nice feed to Williams. What vision from A.J. English.
When you play against this team,
the winner of our game right now between Iowa State and Iona, and once again the Cyclones up by 14.
that sweater A.J. Hammons is wearing would be a blanket for me, as big as he is.
That'll be an interesting matchup in our next game.
There's a contrast there again. No, that's a contrast. These are two teams trying to play the same way.
Washington down low. Turnaround hook shot is no good. And there's Deonte Burton for the board.
One thing I got to say about Washington, this kid has been running the floor really hard. He had great position there. That was a good shot. He's in the low post deep. Got to finish that one.
What defensive adjustments have you seen Iowa State make on A.J. English as Monte
They're trying to deny him the ball a little bit more. And when he uses those screens, the guy guarding the screener is stepping up a little higher and not letting him get those floaters.
Just 2 points this half for English.
It's obvious that Steve Prohm also thinks Matt Thomas is a very good defender because that's those guys' good defense.
Niang, A.J. English, a finalist for the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year award. The other finalists, Grayson Allen, Buddy Hield, Josh Hart, and Malcolm Brogdon. Great company for A.J. English to be in. .10:40 to go, second half. And Niang now has 20 on the day.
That was some kind of miscommunication there by Iona because he just drove it and got a flat-out layup.
Niang 4 for 4 this half. Williams misses from deep. Thomas comes in for the rebound. On TNT right now, UConn and Colorado coming right down to the wire. Contact down low, no call.
What happens is, here comes the drive. Stop it right there. Look at all the players. They're all over the place.
Iowa State turns it over. Here comes English and the Gaels. Inside, English with his second bucket of the half. A 15-point game. You know English with 17.
One thing about A.J. English, he's quiet. Then all of a sudden, he can do things in bunches.
Too easy on the other end, though, for the Cyclones.
Well, Iona decided to press, and the way to stop a team from pressing is attack the press.
Iowa State is shooting 55% from the floor. Morris with the shot clock at 6. And here comes Isaiah Williams. English's pass broken up by Niang. Burton and Ashton 2-on-1. And Ashton had it blocked. Burton gets it back and he's fouled. Good effort. Ovation from the Iowa State fans here in Denver.
that time they switched to pick and roll, but Washington on Morris.
Thomas can't knock it down. English has not come out of the game today. Munch penetrates. Oh, he missed it with the left hand. That would have been something.
That really would have been.
English, that was from way out. When you look at Iona's season and their makeup this year, they live by the three, they die by the three. And today they are 4 of 19. On the scoreboard as we welcome you back to Denver, Colorado, and Iowa State with a 76-59 lead. The Gaels have missed 7 of their last 10 shots after a hot start here in the second half. English to Washington. Those two have combined for 40 of Iona's 59 points, and Washington is on game times and listings. Go to NCAA.com. McKay comes out with 4. Burton checks in. And Washington, 1 out of 2. He's got 22 today.
It'll be interesting to see who they're going to put on Washington now.
Monte Morris is getting a breather on the Iowa State bench. So Niang with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Spins in the lane and can't finish. Here come the Gaels. If they hurry, they've got numbers. Much. And it's Roundtree for 2.
I don't like that Iowa State, that last possession, played that slow. I think they have to always be in attack mode. That's how they play.
Much poked it away. And to that end, Steve Prohm inserts Monte Morris back on the floor. Have not seen Morris really slowed by that right shoulder injury today.
No, he's looked very good.
Nader creates some separation. His shot is short. Much launches and hits. Second triple today, or third triple today for Deyshonee Much. It's a 6-0 run for the Gaels.
You got to give Iona credit. They don't go away.
Thomas can't answer.
I don't know about that shot. Play fast, but play smart.
Burton is guarding Washington. Washington draws the double, gets rid of it. This is where A.J. English usually takes over a game. Here he hands off to Washington, and he's fouled. One more shot for Jordan Washington. And he comes up empty at the line.
I know Steve Prohm, he'd like to get to the 3-minute mark without bringing Jameel McKay back in the game.
Nearly a steal by Williams. Niang finds Nader. He goes baseline. Oh, he was rising. And a hard foul by English.
Well, they're going to take a look at that one for sure.
English immediately went to check on Nader, who's grabbing his right elbow.
No, regular foul. No flagrant at all. No, he goes up to try and block that. It just was one of those things. And I give the referees a lot of credit because they're not even looking at it. And that's a play that I think 90% of referees would have gone to look at because of the way he fell. Good job by these officials not looking at that one.
2 shots.
So Nader will go to the line. Iowa State scoreless in the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Until that free throw. Points, but a lot of credit has to go to this Iowa State defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Roundtree to Washington. He's going right back to the line. A 10-point game, 5:47 to go, and that's a cheap foul on Williams, but it's a foul, and it's his 4th.
Wow.
He is.
Get out.
5.5 to go. Morris. Oh, it doesn't go.
Complete layup. He saw Roundtree switch to him. He said, I'm taking him. He did, but he didn't finish it.
Iona trying to cut it down to single digits.
Big possession for Iona.
And a bad pass by Roundtree. Morris the steal. Morris to Nader. And the foul. What a big turning point that is right there.
It really was a big turning point, but Monte Morris with tremendous defense that time. And then he always makes the right decision in transition. But look how hard and you know, the fact that Matt Thomas was running that left wing hard, that's what allowed Abdel Nader to get that layup. It's so important in transition that everybody goes hard, make it hard for the defense to figure out who they should be picking up.
Iona gets to within 10 with the ball. They turn it over, and it leads to a bucket on the other end. They had missed Iowa State 7 straight field goals before that layup. As English for 3, and Tim Cluse is saying, let's pick him up full court.
That's a big-time shot, because Niang was right in his face.
Now it's single digits. Remember last year in the first game for Iowa State, they lost to UAB.
This is a huge stop here for Iona, because they haven't been under 9 in a long time.
Niang goes around Washington, and the Gaels don't get the stop.
Well, it always helps when you know you can go to the man, and the man is going to deliver.
He's got 24, Niang. English scoops it in. At the time this half, Iona has got the deficit under 10, but they've got no closer than 8 with 4 minutes left. Niang, what a move!
What a move.
26 for Niang.
He's just unbelievable with the ball. Just so crafty.
English to Washington for the answer.
There was a lot of confusion defensively there for Iowa State.
Well, Iona in desperate need of stops. They just can't seem to get a big stop.
No, they can't, but it's only 9, and we've seen so many games this year where 9 in 1 minute went away. And this is the kind of team, Iona, that can do that.
Iowa State using the shot clock. Morris with 6. Nader way out on the perimeter, drives, has to put up a shot, he does, and Washington clears.
Big stop there. You got to go into Jordan Washington. Let him get down low. He's not in the low post yet, though.
Instead, it's English who takes a bump, and a foul with 2:50 to play.
And here's the full court pressure now. They need to attack this. When they've attacked it, they've gotten something easy. I know who I'd throw the ball to. George.
He's got it. Over Williams. Not this time. 83-76, Iona with the ball, and here comes the crowd in Denver. English attacks, he traveled.
That's what the shot post him up some, not facing the basket like he did on the last possession. Bad place to stop.
Morris gets rid of it. It's a 17-7 run for Iona. Iowa State led by as many as 18 in this one.
Iowa State's got to keep their aggression.
Niang's pass is swatted out by Williams with 10 on the shot clock. Washington back for Roundtree. And a timeout is called as Monte Morris could not find an open man. 1:58 to go. We're back to Denver in a moment. Shocking development during that timeout. A.J. English was just issued a technical foul.
I guess he was complaining, thinking it was a 5-second count. That's the only thing I could think of.
Top right of your screen.
Oh,
looks like he said something to Steve Prohm, and there it is. Official just came over and told us that English used some profanity that he shouldn't have used.
And I don't know if it was, it looked like it was directed at Steve Prohm. Now, it's one thing for kids to jaw at each other on the court. I'm not for teeing a guy in this kind of situation when they're jawing at each other on the court if it doesn't get crazy. But when you start jawing with the other coach, that's a whole different ball game to me.
We'll shoot the technical.
And the other issue here is, now Iowa State gets a full shot clock. It was only a 10 before. Now they get a full shot clock because of that technical foul. That was a...
Washington, McKay, and now English with 1:58 to go. And Iowa State, as you said, Steve, now can buy some more time with the shot clock resetting.
Yeah, now up 8, you want to play the clock a little bit.
Thomas has been super steady today for Iowa State. As much got a hand on that. 14 to shoot. Thomas has...
Just go to your bench. Get out of his way.
Here comes Morris. Floater is no good. Tipped out to Muhammad. Bounces it to English. Much for 3. And a whistle inside going against Iona. Jordan Washington is down on the ground holding his left eye. Oh, Washington and McKay were tangled up.
I mean, it looked to me like Washington was hugging McKay. And Washington can't add a foul to Jameel. That could have been a double foul, in my opinion. Looked like both those guys were equally culpable there.
So McKay is at the line. And it's a 1-and-1 for Jameel McKay, who's a 56% free throw shooter this season. 1 out of 3 today. Three Iona players have 4 fouls. Williams, Much, and Washington. All 5 Cyclone starters in double figures. And the lead is back up to 10. English turns it over. Here come the Cyclones. Morris counted in the foul. And they're going to call flagrant on that one.
That is a flagrant one without a doubt, at least. I'd make it a flagrant one. If he had pushed him in the back while he was going, I could have go 2, but he was trying to grab him. That's a flagrant one.
And the 5th foul on Deyshonee Much. Monte Morris. As Iowa State inches closer to 90 points. They average 81 per game. This is the 21st time they've scored at least 80 points in a game, and now they've got 90.
Let's understand this. This team beat Kansas in an up-and-down game. They're as good at the up-and-down game as anybody in the country. I thought in the first half, Iona just was taking bad shots too quickly. And that's the lesson to be learned. They played fast in the second half, but they played much more sound basketball by playing fast in the second half.
Morris all over English. Great defense. English puts one up, and it's an air ball.
You got to give Iowa State credit because they averaged 27 attempts a game, so they didn't even get to the number of attempts that they want to. The best way to stop a three-point shooting team, Andrew, is not to let them get good threes.
Iona is not fouling. And Niang just walks it in for 2. English gets it to go in the foul. Here today, 10th in the country in scoring this season. But his career with the Gaels will come to an end.
Tremendous player with a great career he had. And a great job, as I said, by these Iona kids. Great season. They came out here and gave it all they had. They just played a team that is better.
Niang just dribbles. It'll be a shot clock violation with 7.3 to go. Iowa State will move on to the second round on Saturday, and they have a large contingent here in Denver.
There is a lot of red in here.
Jameel McKay with 11 points, 9 rebounds. Nader at 19, Morris with 20, Thomas with 14, and George Niang had 18 of his 28 in the second half. This is not a very deep Iowa State team, but they are capable of making a deep run with the scoring talent they have.
Well, they mostly play 6 guys. Even though they went to 8 today, they mostly play 6 guys, and all 6 of those guys average double figures.
Both teams empty their benches. And that 3 is good by Nokebia. And that is how this game will end. Iowa State, led by Steve Prohm in his first year, marches on to the second round of the NCAA tournament. They knock out Iona 94-81. And Iowa State now will await the winner of our next game on TBS between Purdue and Little Rock. The Cyclones celebrate an NCAA tournament victory. They beat Iona 94-81, and Jamie Erdahl is with the winners.
I am indeed. Head coach Steve Prohm first. You told me yesterday this will be a high-scoring game, but March is defined by making stops. How do you feel about your defensive effort?
Well, I thought our first half defense was terrific. Second half, the first 10 minutes, it wasn't as good as it needed to be. Fortunately, we can score, so we were able to keep some distance, but we finished the game getting some stops the last couple minutes where we really needed to.
Indeed, you can score. All 5 of your starters in double figures. When you have a guy like George Niang, when all the defensive pressure is going to be on him, how much helpful is that when the scoring is spread out?
Well, George is terrific. We wouldn't be here without him. He makes us go. We had Monte back today, healthy, which was great, but our offense runs through those 2 guys, but we are back. Thomas, Abdel, Nader, and Jameel are playing well.
All right, Coach, thank you. George Niang, over to you. Got to ask, first and foremost, we're at over 5,000 feet above sea level. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty winded, but, you know, this is what you prepare for. You prepare for moments like this, playing in the NCAA tournament and really just being with your guys at the end of the season of March.
I know you know A.J. English well. You both had amazing efforts today, but can you speak to his final game of his career and now that you get to move on?
Yeah, no, A.J. English is a special player. That guy gets them up, but they seem to go in every time. So, you know, he's had an incredible career, and I wish him nothing but the best in the future.
You don't know who you'll play next, but really, what do you want to take away from this game to make sure you win on Saturday?
Just, you know, to take the attention away from losing in the first round. I feel like now I didn't get any sleep last night because I was just so paranoid about hearing about UAB, and I'm just glad we got this one out the way so we can move forward.
Well, you find yourself in round of 32 once again. Thank you, George. Andrew, back to you guys.
Yeah, that was the loss last year in their first tournament game to UAB. Not the case this year as Iowa State moves on to the second round. Once again, the final score, Cyclones over the Gaels, 94-81. Tournament games continue live right now on CBS, TNT, and True TV. We'll be back with Little Rock and Purdue. That's coming up on TBS, but we'll send you to our studio after these messages.